Hey guys, it's Dan with the Corporate Beats. You're listening to the Mixtape Marketing Podcast, episode 26. Today's podcast episode is going to be all about email marketing and how to use email marketing in your music promotion. So this episode today is all about a blog post that I've written on my site showing you exactly how to set up an email newsletter and use email in your music promotion. There is also a straightforward video guide as well, where instead of just having a big long ass blog post, there's actually a video course. So if you just go to the corporatebeats.com, you'll see the courses and you can see my email marketing for musicians course. It's free, guys. I'll show you exactly how to do it. The videos are up on YouTube as well. And basically I show you how I use Aweber and create a newsletter, and how I get people to sign and subscribe to my newsletter using various different tactics to get people to subscribe. Now, you're probably looking at this and you're thinking like, why do I need email to market my music? And you're thinking like, do I even need email to promote my music? Like, is email a dead concept? Does email even work anymore? But if you just look at the bigger picture with social media, is social media really working as well as it did 5 or 6 years ago? No, it's not. And you can clearly see this with Facebook. Facebook is probably one of the main protagonists of hindering the social reach. You probably spent years probably building up your Facebook fan page, getting all those likes. And now Facebook is charging you to contact those same people that you initially paid to get in the first place. And it just seems counterintuitive to place your whole music career in a social media site that you don't control. It's only a matter of time before the same happens with YouTube or Twitter. And if I have to be honest, I feel it's happening already. There was a time there that on YouTube, subscribers' feeds were really vibrant and active. Now YouTube is just shoving all this kind of crap in there and just promoting anything that goes viral just so they can get more ad revenue. And Twitter is becoming more and more advertising based because they need to make more money. They're not making as much money as Facebook, as you can see with the ad revenue Facebook has created. But Twitter, if you look at it on a mobile, especially Twitter, my Twitter feed is full of ads now. So the more ads that are going to be in that feed, the less likely they're going to see my tweets. So this is where it all comes back to the declining reach of social media and why you need to invest in your email list right now. Now, just like any other business online, email is a vibrant marketing tool. And you can see this with companies like Groupon, and there's other ones there as well, like maybe holiday kind of sites and stuff like that. All those kind of insurance sites, they tend to use email marketing, and they kind of really craft emails around how they promote stuff. And it's used for more of other businesses as well. The first two examples that came to my head were Groupon, and where they give out discounts and deals for cinema tickets, for food shops and stuff like that. And if you haven't tried email marketing yet, now is the time. You should be building your email list before you build any other social network. Maybe start with one social media channel and then build your email list as one. Now, there's a good way to do this as well. You can actually build your email list and then get people to follow you on each section of social media. Because once you've built that email list, you don't have to pay again to reach those audience like you do with social media now. I think we've all been duped by social media, if I have to be honest. I think we've been duped by the freemium model. They told us it was free. But once you get into it, it's just like those kind of games that were online. There was a funny episode about South Park where the freemium model, you saw people get addicted to the games then, and they start spending money on freemium games. This is the same thing with social media. I spent all that time, all that hard work building up my Facebook page and all the followers, and now I have to pay again to reach them. So you can see how we've been duped by social media. Whereas with email, once you built that email list, and even if I lost everything in my business today, obviously I'd be devastated if I lost my Facebook page, my YouTube channel, my Twitter page, etc. But my email list is my bread and butter. Every time I release a new blog, every time I release a new vlog, every time I release a new podcast, it's my email list that is the first people to hear it for it. And basically, what is an email list? An email list is permission-based marketing. So instead of what you see on social media where people just kind of bombard each other and say, hi, listen to my track, this is basically on your site or on your social media sites where people subscribe via their email address, their name and email address, and they basically give you legal permission for them to be contacted about your marketing messages. This can include when you release a new mixtape, when you release new content around your music, when you release a new vlog, when you release a new blog post, etc., or the marketing messages behind all that. So when your concert is coming, how your concert's going to be like. So you can basically get permission from your fans to email them. And email is a little bit more personal as well compared to like Facebook pages and Twitter and all that. It's like they went that extra mile. It's very easy to hit a like button. It's very easy to hit a follow button. But not everyone's going to take heed. Very rarely a lot of people won't put an email address in, and they're not really the fans that you want to get. It's that person that took the time out to put their name and their email address into that little box and subscribe to your music newsletter. From what I've noticed as well with social media, there is the vanity aspect of social media as well, with how many followers you have. And sometimes you can see, I notice with, especially in the music industry, it's like, hey, I just followed you, follow me back. And I've seen a funny meme on there where it's like your man from Taken, and there it's like, if you don't follow me back in 24 hours, I'm coming for you. And it's just, that's the kind of mindset with social media. It's a vanity aspect, whereas like no one can really see how many email subscribers you have, and very rarely people will ever say, oh, I've just signed up to your email list. Can you sign up to mine now next? It doesn't work like that. People only subscribe to email lists if they're really interested in, or if they see something that's given out for free. Now, there is a reason why social media sites are declining reach. Obviously, they want you to spend money on the sites, and no one's better than that than Facebook. It's so easy to hit that boost button. It's so easy to get disheartened by your music not getting any fans or any listens or any downloads, but because of the limited reach that Facebook gives you on purpose, because that boost button there is just glistening at the end of the corner. And it's probably one of the worst ways to actually market on Facebook. Obviously, Facebook ads work, but they only work once you go in and actually study how to use Power Editor, get in and use the actual ads manager. That boost button on Facebook is too tempting, and it doesn't really target people properly. So if you're going to be doing Facebook ads, don't do it that way. But again, it's forcing you into that mindset that you have to pay to reach your audience. And obviously you have to pay for a newsletter provider. I pay for Aweber, but it's only like $20 a month, 20 something bucks a month, or $40 a month, I can't remember now. It's around that anyway. And that's all I pay for that a month, but I don't have to pay. It doesn't matter how big my audience is or how many emails I send. I don't have to pay each time I want to contact those people. And those people are the people that actually want to listen to my music. They're the actual people that want to listen to my marketing music videos and my blog posts, etc., and my podcasts. So they're the people I actually want to really give a lot of good content and a good value to, because they pay attention to what I actually have to provide to them. surprisingly enough, the actual percentage of email open rates in the music industry isn't that bad. It's like at 22% and roughly around 2.9% for open rates. That's pretty good, and judging from my experience with it, I'm not that far off from that. It depends on my marketing messages. Some of my marketing messages to my subscribers are obviously higher than others. Obviously, when I'm giving something away for free, and I mentioned that it's free, obviously the open rates are going to be a lot higher. Obviously, when I'm actually trying to promote and sell my products like my beats or my courses, my open rates are a little bit lower then. The main thing I want you to take away from email marketing is that email keeps the sole focus of that listener on you. So compared to like sending people to Facebook, to Twitter, to DatPiff, to SoundCloud, all these sites are huge distractions. They've got ads on them. They've got actual other friends and family on them. And they could actually have other bigger musicians in the music industry that they have more interest in than you. And it just takes the focus away from you. So by having an email list and sending a private email to every person that's subscribed to your email list, it really narrows down that focus, and it's much better for you to get a call to action from an email list from an email subscriber compared to that of a social media tweet or Facebook post, etc. Email, they know that they signed up from you. They know that they got your music from you. Obviously, you introduce yourself in every email just to kind of refresh their memory. Try and test different emails. I'll get into that in a second, using images, and try and keeping the email message short and sweet as well. And don't go too long. Not many people want to read a whole blog post in an email, but try and create interesting stories as well. I'll get more into that. In order to get people to subscribe to your marketing message, you need to create an opt-in bribe. And what is an opt-in bribe? Basically, it's certain freebie or certain exclusivity that you can offer as value to that listener so that they can give you their email address so that you can contact them later. Now, this is a double-edged sword. If you give away too much, they might be just signing up for that opt-in bribe and have no interest in you. If you give away too little, they mightn't bother signing up. Like, some people out there just say sign up for updates. Sure, you will get like someone that's a diehard fan, but it'll take too long to build your email list. What you can do is just think of small ideas out of the box. Like in my niche, I see tons of beat makers all saying giving away their beats for free. And it's fine if they want to do that, but it's just the fact every Tom, Dick and Harry beat maker does that. So I decided to differentiate myself from them by giving away a hip-hop blogs cheat sheet. And that's just a list of hip-hop blogs with my notes on it. That's all it is. But it just makes me different from any other beat maker that's out there. Some beatmakers offer promotional guides. Some beatmakers offer a video with just a couple of tips. Obviously, as a rap artist, you can't do that kind of marketing kind of thing that I do. So you'd have to come up with other kind of ideas. So it could include like behind the scenes footage of you recording. It could be a tutorial of how you actually recorded the song. It could be interviews with certain people in your team, like your producers, or showing people how you recorded the vocals, how you wrote the song, maybe deeper kind of videos about how you do the writing process. It's up to you to use your imagination and to test different methods for an opt-in bribe. You can come up with tons of different things. It could be percentages off your merchandise store. It could be percentages off your concert tickets. You can do it with competitions, but there's kind of rules and laws with that. So just be careful what you do as well. If you're doing it that way, if you're giving away freebies, sometimes I've seen musicians giving away hardware and stuff like that, and it's just a bad idea. You'll get a lot of people that have no interest in it. Some people giving away free headphones or iTunes gift cards. It sounds like a great idea. It will get you to build your list up, but you'll get a bunch of people that have no interest in your music. Try and keep it as related to your music as possible, so that you're actually giving something exclusively away that has some intrinsic value, but only to a certain audience that you want to attract in the first place. If you start giving away Amazon cards or Beats headphones as a competition, you're just going to get a bunch of randomers signing up that are going to unsubscribe later on from your newsletter. Now, once you've thought of the opt-in bribe that you're going to give away to your new fans to help build your email list, you have to create a sign-up form. So basically, you'll probably see it on my site. You'll see it on tons of different sites. Basically, it's like a little picture of an ebook or an image or something like that most sites give away in order to get the email address, and it has a little form below that. Now, as I mentioned at the start of this video, I use Aweber in my email list. Obviously, you can go and use my free course to show you how to set up Aweber. All the videos are there to show you how to do that. It's kind of hard to explain how to set up an opt-in form over audio alone. You kind of have to see me do it over the shoulder, and those video courses are free. There's no charge for that. Obviously, you get a 30-day free trial for Aweber if you choose to use it, but most email marketing services are all the same anyway, and it has similar features to that of Aweber. But anyway, I use Aweber, and that's the sign-up form that I have on the sidebar of my site. Basically, you can get this little bit of code, pop it, once you've designed it, you can pop it anywhere on your website. You can also get a link, and it'll give you a specific landing page, and you can pop that link on any of your social media sites or share it out to your social media sites in order for people to see it. Oh, they can come to it and go, oh, look, download my Beats, or download my music marketing videos, or download my mixtape, or download the behind the scenes of my mixtape and how I produce my mixtape in exchange for your email address. Once they sign up for your email address, they'll be added to a specific list that you have specified, and then it's up to you that you give them the link to the download page. So what I usually do in this part is I create a tailored page after they've signed up. Basically redirects them once they've signed up to this special thank you page, because now that I've got someone interested in my site, my music and my message, I want to keep them engaged with my sphere and keep them in my sphere. They're on my site now. They're on in the members area that I call it, just to kind of make them feel a bit more special. I put a video up there and I thank people there. And also I have my little social buttons in there to share my website, see if I can get them to do any more call to actions after that. And obviously I give them the downloads that I have there. So all the links to the downloads are on that specific thank you page. Now this thank you page is super powerful. I use this to really boost my subscriber base on social media. Basically right after, when people are super engaged with my content, they're more likely to take action on anything else that I say. So I really advise you, this is probably the best tip in this whole podcast episode, is to create that specific thank you page, and it will really help boost your followers and kind of really engage with your fan base as well. And people really respect that. I hate when I sign up for something and it just takes me to the crappy kind of template response that Aweber gives you. I prefer that redirect landing page. It's just a better experience. And plus, you can train your audience to open your email as well. If you have that landing page, you can have that video at the back of it. You can say, oh, go to your email address now and confirm that email address. They don't have to do that if they don't want to, but some providers make you confirm that email address, and you can get them used to opening your emails. Now that you've got your permission to market to them, you can promote your merchandise, your concert tickets, and your music videos. Previously, in countless episodes of the Mixtape Marketing Podcast, it's vital that you create that sign-up form as graphically eye-pleasing as possible. Now, I've mentioned a tool before called Canva. It's free, sign up. It's an imaging editing tool, and it'll help you create nice images for your sign-up forms. There's also a tutorial on that blog post and on that email marketing course that's free on my site, showing you how to use Canva to make newsletter sign-up forms and images within your newsletters. The more eye-appealing that you create your newsletter opt-in forms, the more likely someone's going to subscribe to your newsletter, and the more likely they're going to take action with anything that's on your website. Now, once people have signed up to your email newsletter, you can start sending them either blog broadcasts. That's where you just send out one message at a time, and you can schedule that message to go out at a certain time. That could be informing them of the release of your mixtape, building up to the release of your mixtape, or releasing new beats, anything like that. Or you could be asking them for feedback on your music. It could be anything. It could be your merch. You could be selling stuff. Don't always kind of over promote. Try and give some value first and then kind of promote. Obviously, you have to make money with your music, and using your email list is one of the best ways to actually get a monetary return from your music. If that being with concert tickets, live shows, merchandise, etc., or the actual purchase of your music, or to actual fan funding sites as well. Or you could have a legacy follow-up series, and Aweber does this really well. Basically, you can test different emails that work really well when you're building your email list and see which ones get open more often than not. Then you can have a series of emails that go out at certain times, and maybe once every week, and they can go out at specific times. And you already know by testing your email audience that these emails get good open rates, and you can have them follow up, so you can kind of gradually introduce yourself to your audience. What I do with my email newsletter, the second email they get from me, the first email they get from me is obviously the downloads and introduction to the website, and then the second email is taking them to my bio and my biography on my website, and a video there of who I am, what I've done, how I got into music, how I started becoming a beat maker, how I became a music marketing blogger, etc., how I got into digital marketing. And it just kind of gives a kind of a picture of who exactly I am, and then kind of get them comfortable with my site and comfortable with my marketing message. In the beat making niche, that beat makers tend to all follow each other like sheep, and I just really stopped doing that. Obviously, I made my own marketing mistakes when I started promoting my music, and I'm not saying that I'm not prone to any mistakes now, but obviously I've learned a lot. But I see every beatmaker doing the exact same thing. They get an email list, and then they just beg people to buy beats over and over again. And I just stopped doing that years ago. I just stopped. I just changed my mindset, and I did my own thing. I used my marketing knowledge to get people to open my emails, because I didn't really see, I saw a lot of people leaving every time I kind of just followed everyone else like sheep. So I just stopped doing it, and I started promoting my YouTube channel vlogs instead of just actually promoting the beats. Obviously, in the bottom of every email, there's like, hey, check out my beat store at the bottom of every email. But the emails are starting like, are musicians gullible? They're probably the same titles that you've seen with my podcast already. And I try and make them as kind of cheeky and a bit bold and a bit... it's all about copywriting, trying to get that headline open. Obviously, it's not clickbait. Obviously, there is value in there, but I still need to kind of get people to open those emails. So I kind of just play around with different headlines. Sometimes that the headline is very short. Sometimes the headline's long. Sometimes the headline could have a negative connotation, and other times it could have a positive connotation, just to see what works with getting people to open the email. Usually musicians get kind of stuck at this kind of stage. They can set up the email stuff, but they don't really know what to actually say to their audience. Well, there's only so much I can teach you on to this point. After this, you kind of have to figure out who you are as a musician, what kind of content you can create, and how you can explain that to your audience. That's all it is. It's basically a conversational piece to your audience that can listen, that will listen if you approach them in the right way. If you just try and sell to them all the time, obviously they're going to ignore you. But if you kind of just pull them into kind of questions, if you pull them into kind of live video, like I've mentioned in the previous podcasts, if you bring them into kind of forums on your site, just set up a little comments box on your website, or send them to a forum on Facebook, create your own group, and kind of have your own little fan base and get them to interact with one another. That's all you have to do with email. Obviously, you can use it to promote stuff as well at time to time, but don't overly do that. I see tons of musicians, and even top musicians as well, like big bands, and they have a concert coming up, and I hear about buying tickets all the time, but I don't hear anything about how they actually even produced that album that's out now. And I just think it's a kind of a crappy approach to marketing. I like that kind of inclusive kind of approach to marketing, and I try my best to create my kind of community like that, and that's the way I promote my beats, my site, my courses, and by giving value and doing it to the best of my ability. Some people don't like my message, and it's fine. They just unsubscribe and move on. That's fine. I don't care. But some people do really appreciate that I go out of my way to actually find ways that I promote my music and share it with others so that they can get the same results that I get with my music marketing. Other musicians then may be good at actually kind of building the rapport once they have fans, but they're actually stuck in that initial stage of actually gathering new email subscribers. So these are some simple ways of actually building up your email subscriber base. Obviously, you can use your Facebook page. Now, Aweber does have a kind of interaction kind of way with Facebook, where you can install an app onto Facebook and kind of send traffic from Facebook there. And it's not a bad idea not to do that. I've got a much better way that works for me. Obviously, I create video content, and I kind of really push the boat of asking people to subscribe. So anytime you create any vlogs for social media, YouTube, Twitter, or anything like that, tell them to go to a certain page on your website, download your opt-in bribe that you've came up with, and ask them to subscribe to your newsletter. Another great way to do that is using the real estate that these social media sites give you. One of the most prolific way is the pinned tweet on Twitter. Twitter gives you this specifically highlighted area, similar to that of the spotlight feature in SoundCloud, and you can kind of pop a tweet up there that links to your newsletter. Just make sure that the image is super pristine and it has a good call to action, and it allows people to click through to your website so that they can land on that page and actually opt in. Another way is a tool that I probably mentioned tons of times. It's called Sniply. It's a really good tool. It's free to download. Obviously, there's limitations with the free version, but it's enough to get you started. And basically what you can do with Sniply is you can share any link online, and it flips that link into a kind of a mini link, but it puts a marketing message on any site. Now, I have tutorials on my site to show you exactly how to use Sniply, but what Sniply does is it just gives you that little pop-up box on any website that you share, and you can link back to your website. So you don't have to kind of promote your own stuff all the time. If you find interesting stories that you think your Twitter followers or your Facebook followers would like, you can share that story, but just with that link, and your message will pop up on that site. It's basically like an ad on their site, a little call to action, and it's a really, really good way of building your email list. Obviously, you kind of have to match up the content with that site. So like obviously all of the tweets that I share are going to be music marketing related, and that's just the way I kind of do it. Obviously, I kind of put some kind of music industry news in. Kanye West coming out with a new album, or Kid Cudi coming out with a mixtape, things like that. I'll just pop them in. Then that little message will pop up. Or if I hear Two Dope Boys is like a really popular hip hop magazine or online magazine kind of site, and it usually has kind of exclusivity of new fresh music and what's being released, and they usually kind of have interesting stuff on there, and I just pop my Snipply link on there, and anytime I share it out on social media, anyone that clicks through to that will see my message saying, oh look, if you come to my website, there's a blog post about 10 tips on how to release your mixtape, etc. So that is another super gem idea to build your email list as well. And if you're going to be promoting your email list on Instagram, it's vital that you actually link every post back to your main page on Instagram. Now I see tons of people just posting the link into the description of every post on Instagram, and they're not clickable links, guys. It's stupid. No one's going to copy and paste stuff into the browser. It just doesn't happen. What you need to do is use your handle on Instagram, like my handle on Instagram is at the underscore corporate thief underscore beats. And basically that becomes a clickable link on any post, but it also brings them back to my homepage on Instagram where the link to my website is. And that link usually goes to my newsletter where they can subscribe for the downloads that I offer, like my cheat sheet, my beats, and my artist resource list. This is a really good tip because I've seen like tons of people saying like nice call to actions, like saying in their videos, which is great to see, but they just kind of just put that crappy link in there, and it just doesn't, no one's going to copy and paste it. It's important that you give them clear instructions on how and where the link is to click through so they can land on that page, so they can subscribe to your newsletter. Obviously, I've mentioned in previous videos of before about live video and the importance of live video. So you can use YouTube Live, and you can use Facebook Live, Instagram Live, and now Twitter Live. And they're all powerful mediums to get engagement, and usually it's a great place to pop in a call to action. Live video is super engaging. If you want to build that little email list quickly, use live video, guys. And you can always go back to that podcast episode 23, I think it was, or you can find it on my website where I talk about live video, and those tutorials are on my website showing you how to set up live video using OBS, and they're great ways of building an email list as well. Just before I wrap this episode up, there is other alternative ways that you can build your email list. Obviously, there's probably more than the ones that I've covered out there, but there's some of the main ways that I do to build my email list. One way that I do as well is that once I've actually got people subscribed to my newsletter, I give them some kind of freebies. I give them like free downloads, free beats from time to time, but only if they share a marketing message that I have on my site. And you probably see these tools on my site. They're like little content lockers. They usually have a download link or a nice blurred image in the background, just so people are a little bit curious that they'll press the share button on Facebook, or the tweet button for Twitter, or the subscribe button for my YouTube channel. And basically, if my audience does that, it will share a message, and usually it's another message that links back to my email newsletter. So if they share my message, say, go to the corporatethiefbeats.com, and you'll get a hip hop blogs cheat sheet with a list over 700 rap blogs. And if they share that, they usually can get down like maybe my ebooks or my PDFs or a PDF of that blog post, or an MP3 of a new beat that I've produced. And you guys can do that as well. So if you've got any kind of audience that are coming to a specific page on your site, download Social Locker. I think it's like 20 something bucks. It's cheap as chips. Or if you go to corporatebeats.com, Social Locker, /Social Locker, or go to my research page on my site, you'll see the link to Social Locker. Obviously, with Aweber and Social Locker, I'm an affiliate for them. So if you do sign up to them, I appreciate it. I do get a commission, but no extra cost to you guys, and I appreciate the support. But it's just an easy way of getting people to send people back to your site, kind of using your fans as promotional people as well, like a street team. Now, just before I wrap this up, I think I've really covered anything else about email marketing. I've really kind of drilled as much as I can get out of my head, and how the importance of music marketing is with email, and you should start doing it right now. And your email list will be one of the best tools you can use to promote your music and to get a monetary value back out of your music as well, and letting your fans know about the next release that you have. So you're always using the previous success that you have. So all the marketing that you've done with one mixtape, think of it, you've got all that power now for the next mixtape. And again, second mixtape, the third mixtape, you've got that third power, all built from the initial release of the first mixtape. That's the power of email marketing. Don't forget that the video course and the blog posts are on the corporatebeats.com. That video course is free. Obviously, I mentioned already that I am an affiliate for Aweber and some of the tools that I've mentioned in the post and in the blog post. But it doesn't cost you any extra. But if you do go through my link, I really appreciate your support, and it'll keep me making free courses and free blog posts and free podcasts for you guys, and gets me to share my music marketing information to the best of my ability to you guys. So if you guys feel that you've learned anything else today, just go to the Corporate Beats and share that message, share the blog post, share the podcast with someone else that can benefit from this information, and that you might think might benefit from my email marketing course as well. That'd be great, guys. And if you've got any questions, leave them in the comments. There's obviously links in the description of this podcast. And this was Dan with the Corporate Beats. You were listening to the Mixtape Marketing Podcast. This was episode 26, all about the power of email marketing and the promotion of your music online. Take care, guys. Take care. Boom.